Hi, thank you for inviting me to your job interview today. I'm very excited to be considered for the position and to share with you an example of my work of digital resources that were developed for the migrant English faculty at Swinburne University of Technology. The programs are aimed at helping students to integrate into local society and culture by helping them to improve their English language skills, digital literacy skills, and their knowledge of local standards for employment. The suite has been developed because we currently have a lack of resources for this cohort. There are resources that exist for all students at Swinburne University to engage with career advice or ways to improve their own skills for work. However, they are not suited to people who speak English as a second language or who come from a cultural background that has different expectations of what would be considered acceptable behaviors or norms in the workplace. The products have been designed based on a learner persona that represents the typical student that would form part of this program. To be clear, the migrant English faculty is made up of a diverse range of students. The average student would be around 30 years old. They are changing depending on which campus they belong to. So at the Hawthorne campus, they would be more of a lower middle class socioeconomic background. They do already have some previous education in their home countries and are able to study independently with good knowledge of basic computer skills. So overall, the students need some ways to increase their learner autonomy through more practice in digital skills. They need to be able to work independently doing English language based activities, and they need to understand what job opportunities are available to them. They also need to work on their self-awareness and their confidence, which is something that is a commonality amongst most students. Although they're very skilled, they seem to think that their English level is not good enough to compete with local students. So firstly, I've developed a workshop which is run on Miro. In the Miro workshop, students get the opportunity to do social and active participation by working together, doing matching tasks, brainstorming, reflective activities, true or false tasks. They also get to participate by adding feedback to this task, which I have used to improve later versions of this task. So I know that students liked the tactility element of being able to move sticky notes in different places. They enjoyed the multimodality. They mentioned that they especially enjoyed having images and not just words representing meaning in this task. But there were suggestions to have an element of competition to make it even more fun. The second activity was an H5P branching scenario, which was created to give students a simulation of what it would be like to work in a cafe. A cafe was chosen based on the learner needs and research on the cohort to find what jobs were ones that felt accessible to students, as well as a context that was familiar enough for students to be able to engage with. Let's have a quick look. So as you can see, options come up for the student. They're able to read what would be the most appropriate answer, choose that answer, and then continue.
Hi, what can I get you?
Hi. Do you have almond milk? Students are presented with this familiar situation which allows them to use their knowledge of workplace culture and skills to successfully complete the scenario. After the scenario, there are a range of tasks which allow students to test their knowledge. They have some true or false statements, they have a summary in a reading that is found in interactive hotspots. They also have fill in the blanks or close language-based activity, and the opportunity to give feedback. So how do you feel after completing the learning on the job interactive lesson? Students can say they're curious, they're excited, informed, or confused. And in this way, they can really personalize or feel that they're giving their feelings, but they're really giving some data back to us. I was actually able to do some minimal A/B testing with peers in the learning design forum, and we determined quite a lot of information about the design before that. The last activity in the suite is a Kahoot, which is an opportunity for students to use retrieval strategies for the target language, as well as have an interactive and competitive gamified learning experience, which is very popular among the cohort. They have true-false questions, they have multiple choice questions, and they have feedback. The activities have been adjusted and changed since the original portfolio proposal was made. So there was peer feedback and suggestions to have hard-coded closed caption subtitles, but that was not feasible within the scope of the project and could not be completed at this time. It will be included in future versions. It was also not possible to include a word search content type in the H5P because the branching scenario is not compatible with the word search content type, but that was replaced instead with an extra true or false question. And there were some issues with the Kahoot due to new updates where it's not possible to embed links if you do not have a premium account. So we couldn't have the links embedded in the LMS, and that just means that rather than using Kahoot again in the future, we would actually use the affordances of the LMS to create a quiz inside it. However, that will mean losing the competition with peers element, but it will still be a gamified object that will have scoring and potentially time frames. I hope you enjoyed learning about these products, and I hope that I will be considered as someone who can contribute successfully to your team.